here we go. UFL Week 4 recap and Week 5 preview. Let's start with the scores, shall we? Starting with the Showboats and Panthers. 27-9. Panthers take it over the Showboats. I have a feeling the Stallions and Panthers are going to be battling it the fuck out in the UFL division. We'll get to that in a little bit. Battlehawks Renegades. Luis Perez. He's not looking too bad. I like Luis Perez, man. I feel like, in my eyes, Perez deserves a shot in the NFL. See what he can do, you know? The Spring King deserves to fall. Or not fall. I was going to say blossom into a winter flake, but snowflakes don't blossom, they fall. I guess you can say I want to see him blossom into a winter star. I don't fucking know, enough with the corny shit. I think Luis Perez deserves a shot in the NFL, man. At least as a backup somewhere. Kid's a pretty solid quarterback. He's played pretty solid in the spring. Granted, the players he has to play with are, again, practice squad players. I feel like Luis Perez could be a good solid backup somewhere in the NFL. Starter? But I feel like Perez should be in the league. As a backup, at least. But he pretty much proves this by taking care of the Battlehawks 30-15. The Stallions and the Roughnecks. Gents, the 3-time champions are back, baby. The 3-time champions are back. Birmingham Stallions. Yeah, that's right. Since my Philadelphia Stars aren't in it, or the Tampa Bay Vipers aren't in it anymore, fuck it. Oh, I gotta love that. I'm hopping on the temporary Birmingham Stallions bandwagon. Yo, Birmingham fans, make some room. I'm hopping on that wagon. I'm cheering the Stallions on, man. I want to see that 4-P. But the Stallions have been killing it. They got off to a little bit of a slow kind of start to the season there, but honestly, as the season's been going on, the Stallions have been looking better and better. They've been really starting to get it going. The defense has been looking pretty solid as well. The offense, it's trending up. It's basically started at the bottom here, right? And then it's basically went whoop all season. Like, it's been woo. I guess you can say the graph has been up, and then it's been down, and then it flatlines and goes up, then it goes down, you know. It's been inconsistent. It's been a very inconsistent offense, I should say. In my eyes, there have been games this season where the Stallions' defense has held them in it. So I would say, honestly, the Stallions' defense is one of the big main reasons why. Honestly, fuck it. I'm going to say it's the main reason why the Stallions have been winning. They have a really good, solid defense, holding the Roughnecks to 16 points week 4. Look at it, week 3, right? Holding the Renegades to 9 points. We go to week 2, holding the Panthers to 12, and then week 1, I believe they lost. Yes, they did. But they held the Defenders to 18 points. So a big factor of, Birmingham's success here the past couple weeks, it's clearly been that defense. Like, I'm sorry, I gotta say, if anything, it's been the best defense in the league. And if anything, I'm gonna say it here. If the Stallions are gonna get their 4th ring, then they're gonna have to rely heavily on that defense. That offense, I don't know, man. I just don't know. I don't know. But, hey, we'll see. We will see. But the Stallions did take this game 23-16, so, they're looking good. But moving on to the Brahmas. Well, destroying season is over. Again. He got injured. Again. buddy, go back to YouTube, okay? Like, just stick with YouTube. You're not making the NFL. At this point, I'm sorry. Call me a fucking hater. Call me a whatever. Destroying's chances of making the NFL are gone. They're poof. Of course, the Brahmas are obviously going to bring him back next season. I wouldn't be surprised. Because, again, he does, bring a little publicity to the league. He brings a little attention to the league, They got someone to stick in front of people's faces and all that. But Buddy's not an NFL kicker, okay? He had the choice back in college. UFC, when he chose YouTube over football, he made it clear that he wants to do social media. He made it clear that my ear itches. But he made it clear that he had no interest in football. I'm sorry, he didn't. Because if he was truly interested in football, and if his heart was 100% set on football and making the NFL, then he would have chose to stay with UCF and give up social media. Rules are rules, man. You could have at least waited until you got to the NFL. I'm sure the NFL would have loved what you did. And I'm sure you would have blew up a lot more than where you're at now. I'm not saying that he isn't famous already. He's got a pretty good size following, but it's like that following would have doubled if, I hate to say it, he would have stuck with staying in college. Again, when he was given the choice of stay in college and pursue your dreams to make the NFL or go off and do social media, he chose social media. That's where his heart is at. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to keep fucking saying it. The kid is only in the UFL to boost his social media numbers. That's it. He's only in it for the content. That's it. He's not an NFL caliber kicker. I'm sorry, the misses that he had were embarrassing. Like, holy fuck. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a talented kicker. He's good, but he's not NFL good. He had a chance to be NFL good and develop his skills in college, but he chose social media. That's what he wanted. I'm sorry. Destroying fans, destroying Glazers, call me a hater, hate on me, dislike my video all you want. But it's the truth. Guy is not an NFL caliber kicker. He's not. He had the chance to become one, but he chose social media. So he's pretty much said that, I'm a social media kicker. I'm a social media player. That's it. I'm just here for social media. And of course, again, people are going to call me a hater. They're going to call me this. That's fine. But at the end of the day, you're blind. Because again, if the kid was truly about football and wanted to make the league 100%, he would have stayed in college. He would have developed his skills, got better as a kicker in college. He could have made the NFL possibly. But no, he chose social media. So it is what it is. Again, call me a hater, dislike the video. I don't care. It's clear what he chose. But yeah, somehow the Brahmas managed to win 24-18. Surprisingly, I guess they pulled it together. But another quarterback, I'm not going to lie, that I think deserves a backup job at least in the NFL, Jordan Tiamu. That kid's a fucking beast, all right? I feel like Jordan Tiamu at least deserves a backup job in the league. Is he a starter? I wouldn't say he's a starter. But nah. What were his numbers this game? 19 for 31, 299 yards, a touchdown, no picks. And he completed 61% of his passes. Like, bro. I feel like Tiamu could be a solid backup in the NFL, man. What are his numbers here? Like the XFL stats are confusing as hell to read because I'm so used to how it is on the NFL website. But as of right now, Jordan Tiamu has 6 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions. He's 65 for 131. And efficiency is 77.9. Last season, he had 15 touchdowns to 9 picks, 1,846 yards. And in 4 games, he's passed for 905 yards. I mean, in my eyes, I feel like the kid deserves a shot as a backup QB in the league. 27 years of age. You know, kid's pretty much, I guess you can say, in his prime. I feel like he's someone who should be given a chance, honestly. I feel like he could be a solid backup. But anyways, moving on from that, let us now go on to the standings here. And well, look at this. The 2 quarterbacks that I've been praising and say deserve a shot as a backup are proving it. Right? Luis Perez and the Arlington Renegades right now are 3-1. And right behind them is Jordan Tiamu and the DC Defenders at 3-1. You got the St. Louis Battlehawks at 2-2, and then the Brahmas. I know, they did beat the Defenders. I know. 1-3. Brahmas are now 1-3. And they signed a real kicker, so shout out to them. Bro, the Destroying fans are going to be fucking just... Woo! Triggered. Moving on now to the USFL conference, though. We got the Stallions and the Panthers, both coming in at 3-1. The Roughnecks at 1-3. And the only winless team left in the whole UFL is the Memphis Showboats at 0-4. Standings are getting tight, though. I'm not going to lie. The standings are getting very tight here as we head to the midway point of the regular season. That's right. And, well, let's look at the USFL conference real quick. Right? We got the Stallions and the Panthers at both 3-1. Of course, Mosh needs a drink here. Looking at this here, right? You got the Stallions and Panthers coming at 3-1. Both dominating the USFL conference right now. I'm going to say this. I'm rooting for the Stallions to four-peat. I'm not going to lie. That would be cool. But I feel like the Michigan Panthers possibly have a chance to take the USFL conference this year. They just strike me as that underdog team that could come out of nowhere at any point this season. They've won their last 2 games. They're not looking too bad. Yeah, these Stallions are finally starting to cook here and pick it up as well. But I feel like if the Stallions fall off the tracks and the Michigan Panthers can stay in their winning ways, right? I feel like that the Panthers have a good chance at taking the USFL conference from the Stallions. Showboats? No, I'm sorry, Memphis fans. Showboats are toast. I hate to say it, but the boats are toast. 0-4 unless, Arlington has proved otherwise that, hey, teams with losing records can still win it. Or can at least still get to the finals, I should say, and still get far. But I gotta count the Showboats out, man. It's they just can't seem to get it going. Second worst offense in the league, behind the Roughnecks, right? looking at it here, they have what? The third worst defense in the league. If you're looking at points against and points for, if you're going by that, right? I don't see a bright spot for Memphis here at the halfway point. I don't. I'm trying to find one. I just don't see a bright spot for the Showboats. Again, they have the second worst offense in the league, third worst defense in the league. You got the actually no, the second worst. Excuse me. I read that wrong. My bad. Roughnecks have the third worst. Showboats have the second worst, and the Brahmas have the worst defense in the league. Again, if you're going off points against. Points for, if you're going off that in terms of, offense. I guess you can say the Roughnecks have the worst offense in the league with 49. Memphis right behind them, and then San Antonio in third. Right? I mean, woohoo. You got 1 point more than pretty much the worst offense in the league in Houston. I'd say that don't mean shit. That don't mean shit. Because why I say that is, well, Houston's got to win. They've won a game. They've shown that, yeah, they can at least win a game. Memphis hasn't won shit. I just don't see a Memphis comeback. I'm sorry. Maybe you guys win a game or two, but I don't see it. Memphis is a lost cause at the halfway point. Who knows? They could prove me wrong. But if I were to make a midway of the season prediction as to who I think will take the conferences, I got to go Stallions for USFL and midway for Arlington. Midway for US. I'm at a crossroads here for the XFL because, again, the Defenders, yeah, they lost their last game, but they, again, look like a team who, just like the Panthers, are a real good underdog to possibly take that XFL conference. Again, if Luis Perez and the Renegades fall off a cliff here and DC can gain some momentum here and Tiamu continues to sling it, who knows? DC could take the division. Or, excuse me, the conference. My bad. The conference. I don't know why I did that. But let's take a look at the Week 5 matchups here, shall we? And we got some good ones. Memphis versus Birmingham. Give me the Stallions on that one. Panthers Battlehawks. That should be a good one. That's, by the way, Memphis and Birmingham. My bad. That's tonight, April 25th. Tomorrow night's game at 7 o'clock is Michigan at St. Louis, April 26th. And the two April 27th games, we've got the DC Defenders and the Arlington Renegades. That should be a good one. The two top teams in the XFL conference, the top two going at it. And like I said, DC could possibly be an underdog to take that division. Again, excuse me, conference. I keep saying division. They're not there just yet. But this is it. I mean, if you think about it, this game right here, Renegades Defenders, I'm not saying that this definitely determines it, but could possibly determine who the better team is between the two 3-1 teams, right? In terms of who I think is going to win, I don't know. Both are good teams, but I'm going to have to go with the Renegades. And then finally, we got the Roughnecks and the Brahmas. Oh boy, this should be a fun game. Two of the worst offenses in the league. But I have a feeling gonna give this to the Brahmas. Why not? We'll give this to San Antonio. But there you go. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, there is your Week 4 recap and Week 5 preview for the UFL. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Again, this is just the first season of this, so I'm still putting together a solid format here, but for now we're going to keep it with a simple format, so I hope you guys enjoy. But anyways, I'm going to head out of here, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace!